What's up? It's Darryl reporting, Book. I'm going to prove to you how we are all created. We are meant by God. God put us all here. You know what our purpose is? We all have the same purpose in life, Book. Create love. That's our purpose in life. Create love. Okay? The elites know that it's impossible to create love if you have fear. All right? How do I know this? Well, how can you learn how to love as a child whenever you're scared of your mom and dad? Can't ask questions and shit, which provides, in turn, you'll get information, wisdom. Mom and dad ain't wise, but they memorize. There's a difference between memorizing and being wise. All right? So, where I'm getting at, boy, wait up, dude. I'm about to get deep. Boy, you can't see me, huh? God, it's good, boy. You gotta breathe, dude. Gotta breathe. Breathing is important, boy. Mr. Miyagi and the Karate Kid. Why do you think the Karate Kid was able to break all them ices when he ate them 6 blocks of Karate Kid Part 2? Focus, Danielson. Boy, you focus on anything, the mind can make it happen. Mr. Miyagi was right. Well, Mom and Dad was wrong. No, Colonel Sanders, you're wrong. Mama's right. I love her boobies and I like her. She showed me her boobies and I like them too. There's something wrong with y'all, medulla oblongata. All right, bro. Look. Could you imagine a world everyone's self-employed? Everyone grows their own food. Everyone, you know what I mean? Like we all self-sufficient. And while we're doing this, we might come across a hobby or something, you know? You might enjoy, healing somebody. You know, you might enjoy talking to people. You might enjoy being a lawyer. You might enjoy being a good cop. You might enjoy being something that provides a loving service for people. Okay? No. Can you imagine such a world where everybody's like that? And you ain't got no haters, boy. You got encouragers. Instead of people being jealous, hey, let me help the whole world just like that. Can you imagine? Bro, you would never have an addict. You would never have homelessness. You would never have upper class, lower class, middle class. You would just have one class, which is God's children. That's the ultimate class, bro. You a child of God, bro. That's when, woo. And that's what we all are, bro. But you got to believe it. If you live in jealousy, you always worried about someone on the outside, what they got, like y'all doing to me, and get mad about it. Bro, you never gonna go. And so, why you think you got jobs, bro? Huh? Bro, it's a system designed to make y'all not think for yourselves. You can't create nothing if you're constantly worried about going to work for 40 hours just to put food on the table. And if you don't obey it, this job like a little bitch, you lose your job. And you can't provide for your family no more. Why? Because you belong to somebody. None of y'all are free, but you all belong. And you know what? This is humbling, boy. It's going to piss you off enough until you want to change for yourself because you're tired of being a robot. You're tired of being controlled. Yeah, bro, that's what I'm doing. With my money, I guarantee you, dude, I'm going to start having some creators, bro. Because you know what? I want people to do what they passionate about. That's going to help for people. Can you honestly do that shit today? Not without healing. You got to go through a spiritual awakening if you want a world like that. How do I know? Because I learned at a young age, bro, God ain't in the clouds. Ask Kevin Roos. Me and him had that argument all the time. And he thinks he knows more than me about God. Watch. His daughter ain't even going to bury him if he don't change his attitude of being a know-it-all. Yeah, boy. Look. I was a know-it-all to my daughter. I said, oh, no. Let me fix myself. And I did. I am nothing like the man I was when I first met my daughter. I was a child of Daryl and Liz back then. Now I'm a child of God. You got to detach. Because as long as you're holding on to that, you can never create, because you're always worried about, will someone love me if I do this? Will someone want me? Will someone leave me? Will I feel guilty? No, bro. And you don't even have to be embarrassed. There's nothing to be embarrassed. Will I be embarrassed? Will I be humiliated? There's nothing to be. Failure is something to be proud of, because it makes you stronger. Why do you think God's waiting for all of y'all to wake up before I get my blessings? He loves me so much, he ain't gonna have no broken motherfuckers trying to come manipulate me. I'll be able to share it to the right ones. And now that I got this shit, bro, now imagine a world, bro, where you got people who go to church once a week, send their kids to school at the same hours as prisoners and factory workers. The only reason why something's wrong with you and you need to go to a doctor is because you feel that you don't know yourself good enough to know what's wrong. So you got to hear somebody else tell you for reassurance and validation. No, if you got a stomach ache and you called a doctor for an appointment, just because you called and made an appointment, in your mind, you know you're going to the doctor. Even though you didn't go to the doctor, you already feel 50% better every time. But none of y'all aware, because y'all all worried about paying attention to everybody else but yourself. You can't be aware like I am unless you start being aware of yourself. And none of y'all can do that, because every time y'all try to be aware of yourself, mom and dad came with some, you ain't going to show me up. How dare your light outshine mine. We was always better than our mom and dads. Mom and dad made us worse than them, because they never knew how to say sorry, and I'll never do it again. So, bro, you honestly tell me, bro, this place was once heaven on earth. Now we're in hell on earth. You can't freaking get nothing without a bank and them making money. You never own nothing unless you get a lot. I forgot the name of that special title, bro. But yeah, it's a special title. Dude, the King of England used it for all his purchases. You just got to know how to do the research to find out how to get one. There are such titles and shit you could get that show ownership that says not even God himself could take it from you, no matter what. They don't serve them titles at the car dealerships for a bank. Oh, no, bro. Y'all constantly spending money that don't need to be spent. And y'all call me stupid, bro. Dude, this is hell. Heaven was perfect, like the first word I described, where everybody loves everybody. Then, now look at us. We got all these systems. How you think that started? Jealousy. One motherfucker in a perfect world said, you know what? God's perfection ain't good enough. I got to be better than somebody. And then there you go, bro. The bitch hopped on the dick of Lucifer. That's all Lucifer was, bro. A human being with a dark spirit who let jealousy take over. Just like Melissa let her jealousy take over. And she murdered her dad and tried to murder me and my daughter. She murdered her mom, too. Because of jealousy, bro. You can never create a good life as long as you live in jealousy. You live a life in love. You can create anything you want because you are smart enough. You got God's heart, boy. You related to him. Fuck what everybody else thinks, brother. Love yourself.